Kenters concerts and Gibson Kenters plays at Uncle Tom's Hall in Moema Street, Orlando West. The short highway between the iconic Hector Peterson Memorial and the historic Orlando West High School on the famous Vilakazi Street. I picked up a new step and a new song. I soon learned my way from Pefeni Station to Johannesburg Station, and then a few memorized streets to the Carlton Center via Elof Street and Commissioner Street. Train number 904 to Johannesburg and 906 to Dube Station. I was sure I won't land at Faraday and Pinville train station. I qualified to be the family guide for family members visiting from Lesotho. In my youth days, I believed that the Carlton Center was the nearest floor to the heavens. I do not recall recognizing the world around the panorama on the 50th floor. Yes, it was a country I was born in and the city my parents worked in, but my experience of a medical test with my manhood on the table on Albert Street and the passbook I had to carry to escape being sent back to nowhere made the skies, the walls, the streets, the mine dumps and the railway lines to be an unfriendly jungle I had to survive in. Ground Zero was not photogenic at all, as I had to make sure my ID had the right number 188. Almost 4 decades later, the dream is realized in the concrete jungle of that Carlton Center, and the ice rink gives way for the home of African dreams and visions, where the African stories can be told without skating on thin ice. Ooh, Africa, boo. Bina, dance, itoke, ululate, from the folk tale to the history and the creations of the mind. Let those lenses capture your heartbeat. The domineering skies of the Mohale Mountains do not need to be sanitized to carry the African story. The walls of the studios need no further reinforcement to echo the drumbeat of the African song. The floors have sufficient support to carry the Gritsamuhubelo, what the defiant children of the soil. Those mirrors in the dressing rooms need no microscope to recognize the pores and ancestral razor marks of the African face. Ooh, Africa, ooh. Dance, talk, and ululate. I can only speak like me. I don't need a voice or accent coach to civilize me. We are born once. Happy birth to SkyRink. After score 10 out of 10, the doctors would say. Appearance, pulse, responsiveness, muscle activity, and respiration passed the test. May you grow and build a legacy of being the maternity ward of African stories. Boo, Africa, boo. Bina, dance, talk, and ululate.
The mood is mellow tonight because we're celebrating. But before we get into what we're celebrating, I want to recall today, the 27th of October, in 1917, in a little village in Kantolo in the Eastern Cape, in the Bizana district, a baby was born who grew up to be an extraordinary South African, Oliver Reginald Tambo, who in his life held together a movement that was at the forefront of liberating South Africa. And so if you had to choose a night to launch a day that would officially give birth to something new and something for the future, you could not choose a more auspicious day than the birthday of Oliver Reginald Tambo. And so we've come here to celebrate the launch of a new film studio, SkyRink. And I'm here today because as government, we've backed this project. The Industrial Development Corporation, whose representative will say a few words shortly, was prepared to back talent. Because what this film studio is about, it's about claiming our culture and our stories. It's about claiming our city. It's about creating jobs. And it's about showcasing South Africa. And so let me start with the important one about claiming culture and stories. We live in a globalized age where the dominant culture is the culture we all watch on television, we see in the movies, and it's a culture that originates from elsewhere. And yet the African continent is the continent with the longest history of humanity. Not very far from here, you can go to the birthplace of humanity, the cradle of humankind. Go south a little bit to the Northern Cape and you will find there a major new project that government has launched, the Square Kilometre Array, where there are radio telescopes that look deep into the history of the universe itself. This is where humanity has started. This is where our stories need to be told with confidence, with boldness, with passion, and with pride. To do that, we need the production capability, and a film studio is a critical part of that. But the film studio is not only about telling our story, important as that is. It's also about claiming our city. This film studio decided its location will be here, it will not be in Sandton. It's about balanced development. It's saying we will take this part of our city and bring investment and bring jobs and bring excitement and ideas and passion in young people and turn it into a center of development. But this film studio is also about jobs. Because over the last number of years, we've decided we want to diversify our economy. We started as a mining economy. Joburg itself was the premier mining city. But over a number of years, we recognized that if we are to create the kind of inclusive economy and a better life for our people, diversify, diversify, and diversify. And we developed a policy platform, the new growth path. We came out with many new jobs drivers, and one of it was the new economy. One of it was about the green economy, about filmmaking, about tourism, about all these soft things. And over the last few years, we've been investing heavily to create South Africa's capacity as the film location of choice globally. And we've made many successes. The IDC is backing this initiative, and it's putting just short of 200 million rand into the project, and it's being partnered by the National Empowerment Fund, which is putting together another 40 million rand. And the sponsors are putting money into it. But this is the tip of the iceberg of what we're doing. More broadly, the IDC over the last number of years have been supporting other initiatives. In Cape Town, we have the Cape Town Film Studio, which is one of the most advanced facilities of its kind, perhaps the most advanced film studio and location on the continent. Recently, we financed a new water tank that we can shoot underwater scenes in this film studio. And we proudly showcase our culture in that film studio, and through the work of the IDC, we've sponsored Long Walk to Freedom. We've sponsored Madiba, a mini-series that is under production right now and will come to television screens shortly. Tsotsi that won the Oscar Award for Best Foreign Film. Four Corners, which is an Oscar nominee in 2016, made here in South Africa, sponsored by us. Number, if you can stand the violence in the series, you'll know what I'm talking about, bringing gritty life to the screen. Vehicle 29, starring Paul Walker. Zambezia, which is a movie that kids enjoy, but adults enjoy also. It's an animated movie, the highest grossing animated movie made in South Africa. And then Mandela's Gun, an incredibly powerful story of a younger Madiba who goes to Ethiopia, who is given a gun there by the emperor, Makarov. And it traces his story from Ethiopia coming back into South Africa, inspiring a nation as he evades the police and eventually the route right to Lalisleaf Farm. That movie is opening shortly. I'd like to invite all of you to go and watch one more example of African storytelling, taking our stories, telling it for local audiences, but also packaging it for global audiences. In the last few years, the IDC has been ramping up its own work, and it's put an enormous sum of money into financing filmmaking. And today's activity is film production, starting with television shows, but we hope growing and expanding something new, something different. Just in the last decade, or a little bit more than a decade, the IDC has put 1.1 billion rand of investment into filmmaking. And we're not doing it as an act of charity. We're doing it because it is a legitimate economic activity. When you see a movie being shot, it's like a factory that has been set up, a temporary factory with a production line there. People making clothing, building sets, doing food production for the actors, taking young actors and giving them roles, doing post-production. All of that represents economic activity that's going to earn money, that's going to employ people, that's going to develop this country. And that's why I'm proud of the efforts that government is putting in. And we have a partner department, the Department of Trade and Industry, with my colleague Rob Davies, that is also supporting filmmaking. So across government, there is an effort, an activity here to empower our people, to give us the facilities to tell our stories, our powerful stories, to claim our cities and bring with it urban regeneration, to create jobs, but also to showcase this beautiful country and its enormously interesting history to the rest of the world. And I want you to join me in congratulating the promoters and the sponsors of this activity, of the film studio SkyRink, and to wish them well and to say to them, through hard work, through passion, you can make a difference. Not through political connections, not through tender fraud, not through corruption, but through doing business in a legitimate way, going out there and helping to build our country, our future, our development. Thank you very much, and let's have a round of applause for the sponsors of this activity. Thank you very much.
With this launch, we anticipate that the opening of these facilities will contribute significantly in making the Carlton Centre a preferred shopping and entertainment destination in the Joburg CBD, just like in the old days when it was the place to be for all the socialites and high flyers of Johannesburg. A number of other national and international brands have shown interest in opening shops in the retail center, and we are already in all kinds of talks with them, and we will continue to do our bit to bring back the vibrancy, as I say, that was once associated with the Carlton precinct. It goes without saying that there will be more socio-economic benefits created in the center and the surrounding areas. This opening coincides with our plans to relook the viability of the mothballed hotels, as I say, and the redevelopment of the shopping center to link with the Maboneng Precinct and Greater Joburg rejuvenation. The SkyRink development is the first phase in our redevelopment of the precinct, which may include the renovation of the viewing deck on the 50th floor, which has a 360-degree view of Johannesburg. Please join me in congratulating the SkyRink Studios as they launch these world-class production studios. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost done, but I think we wouldn't do justice to this great evening and this celebratory evening if we did not give an opportunity to the team of the SkyRink Studios, the executive chairman, Mr. Frank Mohapi, to just come and share a few words. I think in your packs there's enough information to take home, slot a USB stick or CD, one of two, to slot that into your laptop and actually just see what this facility holds for you guys in the future, and so that you can all come back here and bring your productions here, and we can give birth to the new Leon Schuster, who will hopefully be Zulu. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us welcome and also congratulate the executive chairman of the SkyRink Studios, a dear friend of mine, Mr. Frank Mohapi.
Thanks, Hobbs. Minister Patel, MEC Mazibuko, and all guests. I wouldn't want to go through the list, but I will also mention IDC and NEF representatives here, and also Transnet, and all protocol observed. It hasn't been an easy journey. It has been a very difficult 3 years to get where we are. I remember the day when we decided to say, you know what, Marvin, let's have our own facilities. He thought I had too much wisdom, but I said, it's good, let's do it. And as we normally do, start meeting people and making proposals and what. And most of the people we met was like, okay, guys, can't you go and find a job? Jobs, you know? There's something you're smoking that doesn't make sense. But we took us 3 years. And I know Marvin's wife may live in Peck and Bev, their house, because there was no income. We had to use every cent we had to actually achieve this. And at the same time, having our partner Miles, also it was a very same situation. The three of us were broke, but we managed to come where we are. I know with IDC, the first meeting, it was like, okay, the team was sent to meet with us, and Basil wasn't sure that this thing is going to happen. So he just sent people to go and dismiss this guy, 3 guys, I don't know what they want. So we then decided we're not leaving IDC till he comes to the boardroom. So he tried to tear us apart, but he left to say, okay, let's start building this thing and see what is happening. And we had a couple meetings with the committee, with his team, and business model came into shape. We went to the credit committee, it was approved, and then we had to go to NEF. But at the NEF, it was another struggle. You send one document 4 times, and you think, I know these people are not checking their emails, but just to make sure that everything is in place. And the day we got, after 2 years or so, we got all the approvals. But having said all that, there were other issues to say, how do we then secure a lease with Transnet? Oh, we said, no, guys, we have to come with another plan. There's another giant we have to deal with. You know, facility people were there, and trust me, after 2 presentations to Transnet, and they were actually saying, okay, we are parastatals, we have to hear from other people to say, these are facilities, who else can do that? One facility is for. But truly speaking, our business model and the vision fit in exactly in what Transnet was looking for, and it was easy for us to secure that lease. Ladies and gentlemen, in developing this, one of the most fundamental things that we looked for was to say there are facilities around the city. What is it that we want to build and that will make us good? And we had to look at the technical partners to say these are the equipments that are there out there, but these are the latest, and this is what can make your business better. And we look at the building itself. When we walked in here, it was a 4,000 arena seating with a nice rink in the middle. But we said this thing it's good for stadiums. It was really built. Maybe Oppenheimer was thinking of stadiums when they designed this, and because there's already a crane that can pick up a 10-ton from the ground. You have a ramp driving right into the studio facilities, and the height is right for even TV production. Let's take this. And you have gym on the ground that is not working, so that's a good space for production offices. You have 5 parking floors, so you actually bring a production house to say, just bring your laptop and park the car. You don't need to go anywhere. We'll do everything for you. We have fiber coming here. And we also look at the issues that the minister raised of incentives for international filmmakers coming to the country. But we said, okay, we have a refinery, but these people keep on coming and producing the country and making an excuses that post-production facilities are full. So let's have 10 when we open, and with the capacity to have 50 within our CAR. So if we have to plug in, we'll plug in. Let's have animations as well. And Transnet, let's begin to talk. This is what we are bringing. Let's get into the discussions about other extra facilities that are being brought. One of the things that we are currently discussing is to say production houses, filmmakers are all over the city of Johannesburg. How about we have 2 floors or within your building, even one, where we can house all of them and begin to have them collaborating in terms of production. Just before we start partying, there's been names mentioned of Miles Masikela, Britain, of Marvin Matibe. Before we start partying, I would like all of us to know those faces, and I would love them to join me in this right now. Stop saying yellow bone is the yellow bone. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marvin Matibe, our Executive Director, and Miles Masike. This is the team that founded the SkyRink Studios. Thank you. This is our baby. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think these studios at SkyRink is such a good idea, good opportunity, because for the longest time, I think there's a shortage of facilities in Johannesburg. So by the introduction of these facilities, where it becomes a one-stop shop, where you can mix here, you can edit, and you can shoot here, it does a great deal of help for us as the Johannesburg-based filmmakers, and not forgetting the fact that it's cost-effective. Now we don't have to pay exorbitant fees for your societies are living through. We can come here and it becomes a one-stop shop that we can get what we want.
Very excited to be here to see the SkyRink Studios coming into being. When we first met with Frank and Marvin, this was just a concept that had garnered some support from the IDC. So it was exciting for us to support Black entrepreneurs wanting to set up, production facilities that are world-class. With Gauteng being the hub of production activity when it comes to the media sector. So it's something we're very excited about, to then see some of the things that we've written about or read about in the business plan coming to fruition.
I'm honored and privileged indeed to have been part of this initiative from the onset, from the inception, when a lot of people didn't have faith and confidence in it. As Gauteng Film Commission, we backed the team fully. We knew that this is a landmark location in the history of Gauteng, particularly Johannesburg, which is one of our core regions. So I think when we started to talk to the guys, our main interest was to say that majority of film studios are not in the black hands. So we needed to make sure that as government and entities, we partner and show confidence in what is going to be one of the first black-owned, black-managed, black-run facility, state of the art. But most importantly, we're also looking into saying that the timing was perfect. In South Africa, and the world is moving out of the analog system towards digital. So digital migration is going to present a whole range of opportunities in terms of number of channels. And if we do not have a facility of this nature and magnitude, what's going to happen is that when those new channels are opened, there's going to be a need for content to be played. We are going to continue to be a dumping site of foreign content. So with a facility of this magnitude, we are going to make sure that we produce a lot more of local content, tell our stories our way, and flood the channels with our own stories. Thank you.